Hello Capricorn, I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me in this space today, Cappy. I'm feeling a lot of that Cancer polarity. I was just trying to sort of check in with your energy before sitting down to do the reading, and yeah, there's a lot of softness that's coming through when I was trying to tap in. I keep seeing an image of a deer, you know, like a really gentle fawn, which, you know, that gives me all the Cancer vibes, even though that's obviously an animal of the forest, but it's all that gentleness of Mother Nature, right? And actually I was shuffling one of my decks just to kind of like clear the energy ready for you, and the card that just bounced out when I was shuffling was the Empress card, which is Mother Earth herself. So we'll see how this plays out in the reading, but thank you again for being here today, Cappy. So yeah, it's interesting because I haven't used the animal deck in quite a long time, and then the last few weeks it's just really been wanting to come back around and show itself a bit more. So we're going to start with the animal spirit. Too many. Patience is a virtue, right, Capricorn? The whale. Oh. What was I saying? Perhaps one of the most gentle, peaceful, slow-moving, beautiful energy in an animal. And what was I saying about that Capricorn Cancer polarity? You know, this is obviously Cancer can be represented by the crab, right? But any sea creature is associated with that polarity. And sorry, I should explain. In the zodiac wheel, for those of you that don't know, Cancer is the opposite to Capricorn. So we all have our opposite within us. They always say that, you know, whatever is your opposite, that sign's always trying to come out. So if you're a Capricorn, you've always got a Cancer in there that's wanting to come to the surface. And what is this whale doing other than completely lifting up and coming into the light? This is what I'm talking about this gentleness that is starting to come to the surface within you, Capricorn. This nurturing softness. The whale is such a beautiful, ancient, deep mysterious, but it's such a deep mystery in terms of its medicine. And obviously being Capricorn, right, you're ruled by Saturn, so everything is quite militant, you know, everything is, you're such a hard worker that you probably find it difficult to actually switch off from that very regimented way of being, right? You're very regimented, you're very organized, you're hyper aware, hyper busy, always doing something, right? And can be kind of OCD almost in the way that you approach things. It's like it's got to get done and it's got to be done to a certain standard, and often you can't even reach your own standards, Capricorn, because you set them so incredibly high, because you're ruled by Saturn, right? And this is everything that Saturn oversees. But like I was saying with this polarity, you also have the moon as your internal ruler, and the moon is the deepest of all in terms of emotions, right? Because the moon pulls the tides in our ocean. It literally regiments the ocean in a way, right? You know, it sort of controls how it ebbs and flows. It completely controls its cycle. And there's just like this overspilling of this emotion, but it's coming from a really pure place. It's not being overly emotional in sense of you're not controlling your emotions, right? Because that can be like a shadow element of a Cancer attribute, is when it shifts into the shadow side, it's uncontrolled emotions, you know, just being here, there, everywhere, like a little bit almost bipolar. But the Cancer medicine, right, when it is in its highest expression, is this beautiful moving gentleness of nurturing and nourishment and care and softness. And I was just saying then that is the highest expression of Cancer, and the whale in this deck is the highest animal in the hierarchy of the water element. I don't put animals on hierarchies, but this is just the way that the deck's set out. It's almost like, you know, before we get to the sea serpent, which is then we're in the realm of the spirit and the ether, you know, in terms of just the water element, this is the highest expression of it. And it's like, that's what you're moving towards. You're moving towards this highest expression of this divine motherly love. I know I didn't shuffle it on camera, but this was that card that came up before, the Empress, right? This divine motherly love. And I actually just want to see what the bottom of that deck was. Beautiful, because it flashed up at me, and I know I haven't really shuffled much, which is unlike me. But we're just gonna flow with it. I just quickly spotted this card when I was pulling up that Empress card for you. And the dragonfly, again, it's all these higher ideals, right? Because the dragonfly, it's like the communicator between the physical and the spiritual, if you want to look at it that way. But this is the Ace of Wands, right? So this is a new spark of inspiration, a new pattern. And I'm almost seeing this plant here. You see how it's almost like a pathway? And it's almost like this dragonfly is like climbing up these stairs, right? It's like a stairway to heaven almost. There's something that you're doing, or there's a certain expression of yourself that's starting to rise to the surface that is becoming quite spiritual in its manifestation, in a really beautiful, nurturing, motherly, caring way. You're starting to really care about something. You're starting to take notice a bit more of something. You're starting to become illuminated, right? All this beautiful light. You're like coming up out of the darkness into this beautiful light up here. You know, this can be almost like ignorance and a lack of knowing. You know, go like swimming through life in the dark, swimming through life with your blinders on, not really taking too much into account, not really focusing on much else. But what's interesting is obviously the whale can communicate over such large distances in the ocean, right? And it's almost like that ability that you have has been stunted almost, I want to say. Or it's been prevented, or it's been diminished, or it's been stamped out, or however much of a degree you want to take it. But you've sort of just been moving through life not really focusing on the bigger picture, right? Because now I'm kind of seeing this whale sort of like looking up to the surface. You've kind of been very much just on the ground, doing what's immediately in front of you, not thinking too much or too far ahead about anything else necessarily. But now we have all this imagery, right, of this reaching upwards. It's like the whale is reaching up to the surface. This dragonfly is reaching up into this higher realm of headspace, right? And now with all this purple here, it's just making me think of the crown chakra. It's like something, like, you know, we've gone from this Capricorn Cancer polarity, right? Capricorn being ruled by Saturn, which is very much ruling, you know, law, order, the physical elements almost. And now it's like, with all this purple and this crown chakra energy and like reaching up to the sky, it's like you're flipping into your moon, right? Which is the esoteric, it's the spiritual, it's the mystery. That's what I was trying to say before when I was like, it's the mystery, right? you're starting to become really intrigued with the mystery. It's like suddenly Capricorn's getting really curious about what's up there. Sorry, I almost flipped you off then. You're getting really drawn to, like, you know, what was I saying before about you being down here, and suddenly you're like, oh, there's something I feel like I need to explore up there. I'm gonna take this a few more steps, and then maybe a few more steps, and then maybe a bit more. Like, you're being ushered down this path, and it's been sparked by some sort of curiosity that has been triggered within you. And look at this as well. This is that card that came out before. And what was I saying about this moon, right? You're just completely embracing it suddenly. And I think you're going to end up embracing it a lot more quite swiftly, actually. I think it's going to become this, whatever this mystery represents for you, right? This reaching upwards to the mind space, upwards to the sky. Suddenly Capricorn is looking up. You're going to become quite entranced with it. You love a good mystery. You love solving a good mystery and solving a good puzzle and figuring out all the clues and getting all the information and gathering it from all the different sources so that you can come to a conclusion, right? You rule scripture in that way. Religion, right? Because Jupiter, which rules Pisces, is more spirituality, yeah? It's the metaphysical, it's, you know, things like tarot and stuff like that. But Saturn is very much religion, organized religion. So again, it's sort of like you've been very much in this regimented box of a belief system that's very, very embedded in you. And some sort of a mystery has come about that's caused Capricorn to kind of look up a little bit and question something. And I've mentioned obviously organized religion, but that's just, an example. It doesn't have to be organized religion. But there's been something in your way of being, your way of existing, that has been quite Capricornian in the way that you've been, even if you've not necessarily been aware of it, right? You might not have even been aware of it. You might have thought, yeah, I'm a really open-minded person, and you might very well be in so many areas of your world. But there's something about this like cracking open, and now it's like, okay, the expansion of the awareness and the questioning and the figuring it out and wanting to know more and being more curious about this grand mystery, that's suddenly being sparked into like full force now. It's like you're leveling up, right? You're leveling up because we've gone from water up into air, right? It's like you're going further and further away from ground level. I love that. You're going further and further away from ground level, Capricorn. You're going up to the moon. You're flying to the moon, Cappy. Buckle up your seatbelts. You're flying to the moon. Beautiful. Strength. And how amazing is this? We literally have this dragon here, right? Which is literally like, it's like a water dragon, but it can fly. So, I love it when the cards do this. We've got this water to air here, right? It's like I said, you're flying to the moon. It's like you're transitioning from this watery element, and then suddenly you're going up into this mind space, into this cosmic crown chakra kind of a vibe. And it's like this water dragon here is like going to take you on the ride. He's going to take you on the journey, man. I love it so much. But this is the strength card, yeah? So there is, it's being quite obvious in the sense of this is going to be uncomfortable, Capricorn. It's going to be uncomfortable because it's going to require you breaking your own glass ceiling. It's going to require you to break out of old belief systems, old habits, old behaviors that are starting to no longer fit with how you're resonating, right? Because you're opening up to all this information, or you're translating this mystery in a certain way, or you're experiencing the world slightly differently now because you're moving through these different elements. Okay, it is going to require a lot of strength, and it's going to require a lot of courage, and it's going to require a lot of very hard conversations with yourself and with your ego about, okay, what do I need to leave behind now? What do I need to leave behind that no longer serves where I'm going? With this dragon here, though, I'm getting this really beautiful sense of this like encouragement and this protection from the things that surround you, the beings that surround you, and even in your own world, I think, as well. But there's definitely an emphasis coming through of an encouragement and a protection coming through from beyond, if you will. But this is absolutely the path that you're wanting to take and being led down, right? It's becoming very, well, is it becoming clear, Capricorn? I don't know, maybe it's not becoming clear to you, but at the minute you're 100% sure of where you've been and you're not resonating with that anymore. You don't want to go back in this direction anymore. You're quite comfortable and content about where you are, but there's something, again, this energy of looking upwards. Your curiosity is getting the better of you, curious Capricorn. But perhaps you are a little bit frightened, and that's completely okay. But that's where this sort of water dragon comes through, because it's almost like you've got the vessel and you've got the vehicle ready to go on that journey, to go on that exploration, to explore those mysteries that you're questioning. Perhaps you might literally be, you know, trying to break through dogmatic beliefs that perhaps your parents have passed on to you through religion. Perhaps you were raised in a religious setting that was quite strict, and, you know, you're starting to discover tarot and spiritualism and stuff like that. You know, there's so many different ways it can be applied. That's just one example, but it's this uncomfortable transition of self, right? It's this uncomfortable transition between different cycles that is currently occurring, Capricorn. Sorry, I thought someone was coming in then. But like I said, you've got all this incredible support, even if you can't necessarily see it in the physical. And you've got all the tools you need, right? It will require you to call upon your strength, but you've got absolutely heaps of it, Capricorn. So I know you'll be just fine with that. But it's really wanting to come through this idea that you don't even need to try. All you need to do is take those next steps, and you'll just see for yourself, Capricorn. You'll see what wonders await on the moon. I love it. Capricorn, I'm going to leave it there. Okay, I am going to leave it there, but I just got told to pull a card from this beautiful deck by an amazing artist. It's called the Arboretum. Look for it on Etsy. I literally have never pulled this deck on camera because it's an oracle deck. So I'm not going to interpret it for you, Capricorn. But what I am going to do is I'm just going to pull the card. It jumped out really quick then. I'm going to pull the card and I'm going to show you it on camera, and you will be able to get your own message from it, okay? I haven't even seen it yet, so. Fellowship. The Fellowship of the Ring? Are you about to go on a journey, Capricorn? I think you might be. Capricorn, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, give me a subscription, give it a like, thumbs up, all that jazz. Hopefully there was something in here for you, but if not, then hopefully there will be something in the next reading for you, Capricorn. But thank you so much for your energy and for coming to this space, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are. Mwah. Thank you, Cappy.